11.5 million acres. That's how much rangeland the U.S. Bureau of Land Management oversees in Arizona. But who's better at managing those lands? The government or the ranchers who graze their cattle on it? That question was asked at a House hearing in Washington today. Cronkite News reporter Pat Poblete was on Capitol Hill for the hearing.
The president of the Arizona Farm Bureau told congressional leaders today that environmental regulations that were meant to protect federal lands are actually doing the opposite and harming Arizona's ranching industry to boot. Stephanie Smallhouse, president of the Arizona Farm Bureau and a fifth-generation rancher from Gilbert, stressed the benefits that grazing on public land provides.
The message is basically how important grazing is in the western United States and in our public lands, and the role that that plays in maintaining those public lands and land conservation.
Smallhouse was one of several witnesses at the House Natural Resources Subcommittee hearing examining livestock grazing on federal lands, an issue that many committee members appeared to support.
It puts our public lands to productive use. It provides an important management tool for fuel reduction and fire prevention. It supplements and extends our ability to superintend our vast public land holdings, and it provides revenues and livelihoods for the surrounding communities.
But Erik Molvar, executive director of the Western Watersheds Project, raised the alarm about damage that livestock grazing is doing to wildlife.
You can look at the number of endangered or threatened runs or populations of trout and salmon in the West to see that livestock grazing is having a significant negative effect on our fish fauna.
But Smallhouse countered that laws to protect and conserve wildlife like the National Environmental Policy Act, known as NEPA, and the Endangered Species Act are actually backfiring.
The NEPA process to approve necessary conservation projects has been slowed to the point of complete paralysis in many areas due to obstruction and threat of litigation from radical environmental groups. NEPA is a necessary analysis, but it was not intended to end grazing in the West.
Today's meeting wasn't tied to any specific legislation, but the Congressional Western Caucus is soon expected to unveil a proposal that would modernize the Endangered Species Act. In Washington, Pat Poblete, Cronkite News.